Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we turn to talking about the tragic death of a former presidential candidate named Herman Cain. For those who don't know, Herman Cain was a candidate back in the 2012 election. He was one of the people trying to run for the Republican candidacy, and he eventually, of course, lost to Mitt Romney and had to drop out because of a personal scandal as well. But he was a very prominent candidate back in that day, and he was also a very successful businessman up until that time as well, and following that time too. He was a very, very well-liked guy. He had a lot of great ideas, pretty extreme on the right wing, actually. He was part of the Tea Party, a conservative guy, also a black man, for those who don't know. Herman Cain was a conservative black man, part of the Tea Party. He ran back then, and unfortunately this year, he has become one of the fatalities due to this terrible health epidemic and scare. He caught the virus and recently died because of it, which is very sad, very tragic. Of course, we don't want that to happen to anyone. I'm giving him and his family our greatest condolences. And today I want to kind of talk about the guy, talk about his story, defend him a little bit too, because as you might have expected, as this happened, a lot of Democrats have tried to turn on the guy and kind of spit on his grave almost. They're like dancing on his grave saying, oh, he died. Good. Look at here. Look, this guy died. And they're actually pointing to some pictures of him from a Trump campaign rally saying, oh, look here. No wonder he died. He was at the rally and blah, blah, blah. We're going to check that out and talk about how ridiculous it is, how disrespectful it is, and just how like terrible Democrats can be, and like how just very, very morbid and negative, and how they have no shame. You know, like if you had this happen the other way around, like I wouldn't be dancing on anyone's grave on the left wing. Like I try to just be really as respectful as I can. Sure, we disagree and we talk trash sometimes. We talk and give them jokes, but it's never about like, oh, I hope you die. Like, oh, if you die, I'm going to laugh at you afterwards. Like that's the real dark place that we're going to today. And we're going to check it out soon. But first, let's take a quick moment to check out our sponsor. News just released states several VPNs that didn't have a no-log policy revealed the browsing activity and personal information of over 20 million users. Those that care about privacy need a virtual private network with a strict no-log policy to prevent this. That's why I choose Virtual Shield. Their network is fast, reliable, secure, and always available too. And due to the recent pandemic, Virtual Shield is offering its services at a 50% off discount to help customers protect themselves in this time of need. It's available on Mac, Windows, iPhone, iPad, and Android, or Chrome too, so there's no excuse not to give it a shot. Check out my link below or go to virtualshield.com/NoBS today. Thanks for your time, and now back to the show. Great, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the Herman Cain story. So the first bits of the story come from Twitter. It says former presidential candidate Herman Cain has died after contracting COVID. Cain, who was diagnosed with COVID-19 after attending President Trump's campaign rally in Tulsa without wearing a mask, has died at the age of 74. The businessman and one-time Republican presidential candidate was a former CEO of Godfather's Pizza. So already, this is from ABC. Actually, the photos from ABC, but this is a post on Twitter, and they're trying to blame it on the rally. Like they're really trying to politicize that. Like, oh, it's because of Trump's rally. Like, I don't get that at all. I would not put blame on the rally. Like, obviously, it's possible. I'm not sure if they have proof of that. They're just kind of saying, oh, he caught it after attending the rally, but there's no direct correlation there. I don't think there's any proof that the rally caused this, but they're certainly trying to blame Trump. They're trying to blame Trump and his rally and try to say that his gatherings aren't good. They're trying to, pulling all the tricks out here. Not only are they holding it against this guy, but they're also trying to blame Trump, which I find rather interesting and rather dark too, like pretty messed up and also like hypocritical, because these are the same people, like they flip-flopped on masks multiple times. In the beginning, we saw all the news stations saying, oh, masks are bad, don't wear a mask. It'll actually get worse for you if you wear a mask. You'll touch your face too much, stuff like that. And then now they're all like these mask czars, like, oh, you have to wear a mask. You better wear a mask or you're going to die. And then on top of that, they're shaming people in the grave saying, oh, you didn't wear a mask. This is your fault. You shouldn't have been to this rally. And this is just the beginning too. Like this is another tweet specifically saying that. This is from a blue check mark on Twitter named Renato. He says, Herman Cain died today after a long fight with Corona. Below is a photo of Cain and a crowd of people without a mask at Trump's Oklahoma rally last month. Now, this is the same thing we saw on the Twitter trending page. And it's just really messed up. It's just like, damn, dude, like the guy just died. His family are still mourning, I'm sure. I mean, his body's still warm. And they're just coming up with this thing like, oh, they're trying to make this correlation too. It's like, you could have done anything here. You could have taken a picture of him at a Subway restaurant and say, hey, here's Herman Cain at a Subway restaurant. And after this lunch, he eventually caught COVID and died. It's like, no, it's not. You can't prove that. This isn't how things work. It's just a stupid, messed up way to try and blame Trump. You'd think that Trump would be somewhat culpable for his death. Oh, but there was a waiver because Trump knew it was unsafe environment. So they're trying to blame Trump. They're trying to culpable him, even though Herman Cain made his own decisions. Like, even if he did catch it at the rally, like people all knew the risks, you know, like people know the risk anytime they leave their house. And to just try to pin this on Trump specifically, it's just ridiculous. And it's also just like showing them how extreme they'll get. They're trying to blame Trump now. Like at first I thought it was just like them kind of shaming him and saying, oh, Cain wasn't wearing a mask. Like, oh, you better wear a mask or you're going to die. And then now it's like, oh, they're blaming Trump. I mean, this person says it straight up. The Trump campaign is responsible for this man's death. Don't forget it. Like really absurd, like totally ridiculous. Trump campaign rally was on June 20th. How irresponsible he is to hold gatherings during a pandemic. So this is kind of like the angle that they're going for now. Like this whole thing this is from a chart, I believe. I don't know if they're being sarcastic or not. People are saying Trump should be held legally responsible. The Cain family should take action. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm sure the Cain family is not happy about this, but it would be ridiculous to blame Trump. Like they all went to the rally on their own accord. Everyone knows the risk. I mean, it's the same kinds of risk you would have had at a rally last year. You could catch a disease and you could catch anything and die when you leave your house. That's always been the case. Like the coronavirus is just the new wave. Like we've had other viruses, we've had other diseases, we still have them. And it's just insane. Like they're going the next step. And this is why, another reason why Biden isn't having rallies, because they want to use the rallies against Trump. Like Biden, first of all, he wouldn't have had anyone show up at his rallies. Like he's had a few events before and it was like the smallest, least energetic crowds ever. So that's part of the real reason that he's not doing them. But the other reason that he's claiming is, oh, it's not safe. There's these rallies and we can't have people out there. So Biden's just opting out. And then now they're using that as a tool to go against Trump. And they're saying, hey, Trump is having rallies. Look who's killing. Oh my God. And that's probably actually why this story is trending so much. It's not really like the Republicans would make it in this way. Like, look how they're framing it and everything. And they're trying to bring it up and like pin it on Trump. And then I think this Brandon guy, actually, I don't know if I follow him yet. I followed someone like this before, but Brandon has a good point here. It says, white man Renato enjoys black man's death as it allows him to passive aggressively make a political point. Thanks for showing us all how much Black lives matter to you. Yeah, this is a perfect point right here. Like, I can't believe he said it so eloquently. Like, yeah, these are the same people that say Black lives matter. And at the same time, if they're not a black person that agrees with them, if it's someone in another political party or having even just one political disagreement about an issue, like they'll throw you under the bus. They don't care if you die. They will shame you in front of your family in the public. Like they're using this guy's death as a political point. You know, they're trying to say, oh, well, if I can make a point against Trump, like it's pretty cool that this guy died. And that's just super messed up from the people that say Black lives matter. It's like, oh, which Black lives matter? Oh, only the lives of the ones who absolutely agree with you on everything. Do they think he was infected at the rally, or he was already likely infected when he went to the rally? Which is worse, the fact that he got it there or the fact that he could have spread it to others? I think it's just pointless speculation. And then these gleeful reactions of the masked police to a man dying just because he didn't wear a mask is disgusting. What evidence shows masks prevent the transmission? Also, I'm curious to know the number of people in contact with Mr. Cain at this rally now have the infection. Yeah, we don't have any results here, and we don't know any of the real facts. They're just making speculations. And it's also based on a lie. I mean, it's like the whole mask thing is just totally misunderstood and misrepresented. Like they try to act like the mask is going to save everything, but it's really not. Like the masks aren't this end all be all like super cure to stop it. Like we already had a video talking about how if you go and buy masks, most of them say they're not going to stop diseases. Most of them say they won't even protect you from diseases. They have those warning labels, and sure, that's legal jargon and they're trying to cover their butts, but really the truth is masks are only used if you're infected. You'll protect other people from you. So yeah, if you're wearing a mask, you could protect other people, but it's not like it's going to save him. They're kind of implying that it's going to save him unless they're trying to go the other angle and say, hey, he had the virus and then didn't wear a mask and could have spread it to other people, which is a bad thing. But like this person said, like, let's see the other people that have it first. You can't just speculate and like put these wild allegations out there claiming this guy infected a bunch of people. It's just a bad look, I think, all around, and it really like morose and like terrible. And it shows that they don't care about Black lives. Like, they claim Black Lives Matter and they're like trying to prop up and help and represent for Black people, but when it comes to the one of them dying, they will gladly use that as a weapon against their opponents. Sir, is your conscience not pricked in the least? Gloating, yes, gloating over the cause of this man's death by posting about it in a way in which you've done is pathetic and sad commentary on your heart. I don't perceive it as gloating. He's just stating a fact and says something about you if you perceive it as gloating. May Mr. Cain rest in peace, and may people learn from his death so it's not in vain. Yeah, oh, they're just stating facts. Like, it's obviously biased facts, though, and it's also got implications in it. Like, they're trying to imply he either caught it at the rally or spread it at the rally. And then obviously, yeah, it's gloating. It's bad. It's a bad form. Like, this is why I always recommend not commenting on like deaths or tragedies, at least after a while. You know, maybe you could comment. Like, I always waited, even on those arrests gone wrong and on these other issues, like, wait a while, be respectful. Don't tarnish the dead too much. Like, don't be all gleeful, you know, maybe spread some of the truth out there. But like I said, we don't know that he caught it here. We don't know that he spread it here. And we do know that they're politicizing this and they're trying to use these Black people as their pawns, which is, you know, typical for liberals, typical for these blue check marks. They don't really respect Black people. They don't really think of them as great, you know, Americans. They're just using them in their schemes. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Also, hit that like button to get this video shared. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell for notifications. And until next time, have a great day.